In the second term, we decided to have the Internet of Things as our project, our first project offline. Very simplistic things, but then very interesting things. Students were actually beginning to enjoy their time collaborating with their classmates and with their Makerspace mentors. We decided to train students on Tinkercad simulations using Arduinos.
So today I'll be walking you through this project I did on Tinkercad, which is a fading LED project. So coming to the components, I use an Arduino, a breadboard, an LED, a resistor, a multimeter and an oscilloscope. Now let us go about it in brief. Firstly, you'll be providing a connection to the LED like how we usually do. So basically connect the 5 volts to the positive terminal of the breadboard and the ground to the negative terminal of the breadboard. And then next you connect digital pin 11 to the positive part of the LED, which is the anode. So the function of the multimeter is to measure voltage, resistance and the current flowing, and while the oscilloscope shows how the voltage waves change over time. You will see it in the simulation. Now let us go to the code. So in the code it's simple. We basically set up commands for when the LED should glow down and glow up for a certain time period. So now let's try simulation C. So as you can see, the waves are changing over time and the multimeter shows a value of 1.92 volts approximately and again drops back down. Whilst the LED also glows back down, goes back to 0 volts.
Namaste, this is Sharik from 9C. This blinking color changing LED project is very useful for traffic signals. This wire is the ground and it provides ground to the you're connected to the negative section, and then this is the 5 volt which gives like power to the entire thing, and you connect this to the positive one, and then you basically take this wiring and then push it to this side as well, because then you can like here you can connect it from here. Instead of taking the wires and looping it here, you can just put it there so that it'll look neater. And then these wires go into the green, red and blue signals, and you can code it, and then you can tell it how much green, how much red and how much blue it needs to make the exact color that you wanted. And this resistor is just to limit the signal so that you don't fry your system. And then this is the cathode and it connects to the negative thing which powers this LED here. The code is quite simple. You set the RGB in 11, 10 and 9 because you can't work with it only one pin, because you need all 3 of them because it's an RGB LED. And then I set this color to yellow, and then it'll wait 1 second in the color yellow, and then it'll go to cyan, and then after that it'll wait 1 second again, and then it'll repeat red and white 10 times, so it'll look like this.
We taught children how to create different applications in MIT App Inventor. Here children learn how to design a calculator, a sensor detector and attendance tracker.
These are the properties of screen monitor. Example, and if you go to blocks, this is where you design. So you can press on control.
So grade 4 children designed a calculator. Here they use different blocks and tried to do additions, multiplications and subtractions like
Size, height, you can do automatic or fill parent.
Grade 6 children designed sensor detector. Here they designed it for blind people. This app helped the children to identify, to detect if there is any obstacle in front of them. For grade 7, the attendance tracker helps the children to take the attendance using their mobile.
Ma'am, we need clock because to time when we are like submitting ma'am the time, the exact time when we are present.
Very good. So here through this app you're taking the time. Okay. So if there is any absentee, they can send a message to the parents that the child is absent on that particular day.
Namaste everyone. Today I am going to show you an app in which I made an MS class with Kriya Learning and MIT App Inventor. I used the videos in Kriya Learning and created the app in MIT App Inventor. So this is how the app looks.
Namaste everyone, I am Siddharth and I am going to talk about the talking clock. So first, let me explain to you the components. So the first component that we see here is the vertical arrangement. In that only you put your image and the button. So the image that you see here is this clock and the button is this. So when you click this button or this clock, it tells out the time. And text to speech converter is like you guys know, the text to speech converter converts the text which we have written to a speech. And then the clock one, which reads the time that we are in right now. So now let me explain to you the blocks. So the first block, as you see, is when button 1 dot click do. So when you click the button 1, it does whatever is there in this. Now you guys already know about text to speech converter. Now whatever is there here, whatever is there in the pink, that it says it out. And then this is the other code that you guys have to test out. Now let us test our app.
Now the time is 18 hours 4 minutes 30 seconds. Now the time is 18 hours 4 minutes 36 seconds.
As a part of innovation for grade 5 and stage 5, we have gone with game development. In this, children were introduced to concepts like restitution and gravity. This is nothing but what is the consequence when two objects are colliding. They were able to develop apps and animate objects in a project called Collide and Bounce. They have animated the objects and they have drawn different patterns using the drawing tools like pen down.
This is a small game called Collide and Bounce. As you can see, when the play button is clicked, the ball moves and leaves a beautiful trail of colors from light shade to dark shade. Let me show you how to change the color of the trail. You have to click on this palette and the display of colors from black to yellow appears. You can click on the color of your choice. For example, let's take green. Enjoy making patterns with Collide and Bounce. Thank you.
Because of this online scenario, we have missed the main agenda of this makerspace, which is like collaborative work, where we planned a good makerspace lab which gives the students a good exposure towards the software and hardware. But in this online scenario, we just reached a level where we can give them good knowledge about software only. They missed how to work on hardware and how to integrate between software and hardware, how to transfer the software to a particular hardware after they are making it. So We hope soon we will go for offline sessions, and then using our laboratory, makerspace laboratory, we hope we give students a good exposure about the STEM technology.
Have we lived up to our expectations? I think we have exceeded our expectations. I think we have done really well to set the platform for the next academic year. And I think things are only going in a positive direction from here on.
Wind energy into electrical energy. All the wires from each and every component at the top for a plant is collected and organized with the...
It does exist. It has never been applied in this way. And it is aesthetic and extremely useful because it's portable.
Now I would like to explain the mechanism that goes behind our innovative gadget Arduino.
How our code works. So first of all, we are going to be using Python. We would be using the if and else statements the most.
I have a question. So I understood the solar part, and you said about the wind part.
Namaste everyone, this is Aryan from grade 9B. Today I am going to demonstrate an app made by me in front of you. As you all know, reading is a very important thing for every human being. Children studying in a low budget school miss this opportunity because the school cannot afford a librarian to take care of the library. I have come up with a solution for this problem. The Willy app, also called the wireless library app. This app does all the work of a librarian, like issuing books, returning them and maintaining a record of it. Let me demonstrate it in front of you.
So as you all can see, as soon as I open my app, it asks me for my email ID and my password. Here I scan the QR code. As you can see, after scanning the QR code, the book ID automatically gets entered in the given space, and it is the same with the student ID. After both of them are entered, we should click on submit. And after we click on submit, the book has been issued to the student. So basically this app allows a student to issue maximum of 2 books. Now to return it, we'll have to enter the same book ID again. So now I'm going to return it back. Now as you can see, the book is returned to the library. This app is very useful for low budget schools and can lessen the work of it.
grade 11 as a CBSE curriculum has introduced AI. So at Suchitra, we are dealing with AI children. We have taught them neural networks. We have covered with teachable machine, and then they're doing data science also. So while doing their course, they have done basically a simple project on machine learning. They have taken these images and they have trained the machine in such a way that the machines were able to identify what is the gesture, and they were able to tell whether the image is correctly captured or not in the machine.
Hello everyone. Today we are going to use Teachable Machine. Teachable Machine is a web-based tool that is based on the concept of machine learning. Here we're gonna basically provide the computer with a set of data, train it, and after training it will show us the desired output. So let's get started. Click on the image project. Now let's start by training it. I'm taking an alarm and training it. Record a minimum of 100 samples. We'll take a book. The image is ready to be trained. You can train the model now. After training, you can choose to export the model. I'll show you the demo now. If I take an alarm, it's showing 100%. That means it has recognized the image. Next, let us take a book. We can see that it's showing 100% for the book. So by this, we can conclude that the teachable machine has recognized the images and provided us the desirable output. Thank you.
Incredible, isn't it? We have officially become a center of innovation. And there is more to come. We have just begun. On that note, this is Abhishek Samuel. Control, Alt, Delete. Namaste.
Right, ladies and gentlemen, that was our documentary presentation of an entire year's progress. You can actually see how much effort went into this and what all students could achieve in whatever limited space, especially considering that we were completely online. I think we can give ourselves a quiet round of applause, if not more, for what you have just witnessed. For the continuum of efforts that are going into the program. Speaking of the program, our partners, Career Learning, have been the backbone and the pillar of this entire process. It is their training, it is their curriculum, and it is their continual support that we receive. I keep pestering Madhavi and Varun and Siddharth and everyone else at very odd hours also sometimes to help us out, organize the curriculum for the entire year. Even in fact, right now I'm going to ping Madhavi right after this session is over about the new academic year. We have Mr. Venkatesh Datla with us, who has joined on behalf of Kriya Learning. Sir, if you can hear me, we would like you also to address the gathering and talk about this entire partnership that has gone on from strength to strength in the entire year's process.
Thank you, Chaitanya, for inviting me, and thank you, the principal ma'am Deepa Kapoor and Mr. Praveen Raju, for actually having us as part of your school. I was a little late by about a couple of minutes because I was in conversation with a school group in Dallas that was intending to start our program. So if US is the STEM, Mecca of STEM, they are looking at actually taking this program back to the place that originally where the acronym called STEM started. So I think in a 10-year journey that we have been with schools, one thing I realized, you can always buy the best guitar that money can buy, okay, but unless the coach who is teaching you how to play the guitar unless the environment in which you are allowed to play the music are right, there is no way you can learn music well. So in that case, I think students of Suchitra Academy should really be happy to have a promoter who understands where the direction of learning is going, a school leadership in Ms. Trisha and Ms. Deepa on giving the freedom. And I think most of all, passionate coach like you, Chaitanya, and your entire team. So unless these three fall in place, there's nothing a program provider like us can do. I mean, we can do all the support, we can give all the cool kits, but unless these three places fall in, nothing is going to come out. And I've seen all the videos that you have made diligently. In fact, there are a lot of new schools that are starting, like the Good Shepherd, Ooty, and so many others. So they all have taken the program, but they were asking, can you give me videos of little bits of what happens in your class? I said, no, we don't record it, because I mean, people just take it by faith, or they visualize what happens in a Kriya studio. Now I know that I will borrow this entire video and just show it to all of them. This is what happens in a Kriya class. I hope you will give me the rights to use that video with all our new schools. And I think this year, hopefully we will have children come and experience the full value of the Kriya program, whether it's 3D design or the IoT or the computational thinking program for higher grades. I think this program is coming together so well just because of your teachers and you, with the guidance from Mr. Praveen and Ms. Deepa and Trisha. We are so glad to be part of your school. Good luck.
Thanks a lot, Mr. Venkatesh. About the video, of course, it's a partnership, so it's only fair that we share our experiences with you, so that you can show it to the world.
I'm so surprised that you didn't. I mean, while you take all the help for the actual training and all, maybe we didn't contribute much in this entire exercise of making this video. So it was a surprise for me. It was very well made.
In fact, I had contacted Varun about what we can possibly include with respect to Kriya's products.
Okay.
And then we wanted to keep it. We wanted to maintain the flow. So there are lots of bytes which I downloaded from your website as well as your YouTube channel.
Okay.
We included bits and pieces here and there. So I was actually in conversation with your team members while we were making the video.
Okay, cool, fantastic. Hope to be part of your makerspace achievements and students learning in a more involved level this year.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. In fact, we are already starting to see the benefits of the physical presence of students, because the new session of grade 9 and 10 has already started. And we began our first project with them. You can clearly see the difference. All the students are in front of us. They're collaborating. They're talking to each other. They're constantly engaged for the time they're there in the lab. So those results will definitely come up this year as well. Thank you so much, sir, for joining.
Thank you, Vijay.
Well, it is time for us now to interact with our guests. So, gentlemen, what we had asked our students to do is to collect whatever questions they had, because a lot of them had a lot of questions, and to ask them to speak live to you in such a big gathering that you can see there would be a time-taking exercise. So, in order to channelize the whole process, we asked students to give us the questions. So I'll be reading out questions for you from them. But before we do that, I would like both our guests to address the gathering. Dr. Naveen first. Naveen, your journey from NIT Warangal, EEE, to Usha International, to IIT Madras, to Simon Fraser, and now an entrepreneur. Please talk us through your entire journey.
Okay. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for the warm introductions. And yeah, let me do my setup. So first of all, how much time do I have to talk?
As long as you want to, we have all day.
No, I wouldn't take everybody's time that long. But here's the thing, like what I've noticed, this is my first time being anywhere and addressing a speech to like a group of people. So it was very weird for me to get all these salutations and all these honors and everything, which is just too weird for me. uh, so that's where I would start. Like, it looks like I've achieved a lot in my life. I didn't notice it until today when I was told this, that I've done it. So the fun part is that when you have been there for this long, what happens is that all your achievements are cherry picked. But that's not the truth. It's far from reality. So that's why it was funny when I was saying, oh, I have done so and so things. But actually, life is more like ups and downs, and you will see way more downs than you will see ups. And in the end, what you will see is people remember the ups. So it's okay, I guess. And for like us, what we need to remember is whatever downs you are having, how to get back up as soon as like as quickly as you the sooner you get up. Once you go down, it will be good for you in the long run. So yeah, like that's what I felt right now after listening to all this. I hope that makes sense at this point.
Absolutely. I mean, that is something these kids will get to know in a few years' time, that you
Yeah.
will actually see ups and downs, but then how you pick yourself up when you're down.
Yeah, so I also had one few questions like from the kids. It's hard to make things interactive in Zoom, but if kids you can hear me, I would just like to see how many of you play every day. Could you please raise your hand?
I'm not sure if you have the best view, of course,
No,
because
but
they're
I
side
can
on.
see. Yeah, I know, but I can see some hands. Yeah, so
Yeah.
okay. So one thing I realized the hard way after like so many years, and I have written it to myself in my mobile phone. I see it every single morning. It's better to spend half an hour, like at least for me, my schedules are pretty hard, so I'm not able to give myself enough time. But at least for kids, I believe it to be true that you should play 1 hour every single day, because your bodies are growing. You have so much like your body needs to be strong to sustain all these grueling sessions. I'm assuming you guys study a lot and do all kinds of activities, so your body needs to be strong enough uh, to like go through all this journey, hard journey, and it will help you a lot in the long run. So I believe at least for growing kids, you should play 1 hour every single day. And I wrote it in my mobile phone. It is better to waste 1 hour on playing than studying or doing any work. And the reason being, we don't understand this, but what I've seen in medical and everywhere, based on what limited knowledge I have, is that your body releases these happy hormones when you play, and your body is way more active. So your productivity levels shoots up the sky, and it's hard for you to understand at this age, I would say. But at least for me, I've noticed this. My productivity, and in the end, it's not the number of hours, it's the amount of work that you do in a day that matters. So like it's very counterintuitive, but I think that makes a lot sense now. I wish I knew that long before, because I used to play a lot until 10th grade, but then 11th 12th I studied really hard. Everything got stopped. I was in boarding school, and I realized that was not the best way going forward. I would rather play 1 hour every single day than just study an extra hour. At the same time, there are things like music and art. If you can spend some time, I don't know if it's possible every day, but if you could spend some time every week, at least a few days, ideally how much ever you like, because it's a thing that will open new dimensions. It will open creativity in you, and these things are so important. And trust me, while going forward in life, what happens is you think life is a straight line. It's not. And innovation typically happens when you merge multiple fields together. It does not have to be software. If you take music mixed with software, something new will come out of it. If you take art, mix it with software. If you take biochemistry, mix it with metallurgy. Innovation happens when multiple fields merge together, and on those boundaries is where new things are born. For example, in my case, I'm looking into AI and construction industry, and that's where something new is happening. And these things are not like a straight line. You cannot teach it to kids or anybody. These things just come from you. And the best way you could go for, like, one of the ways that I would say one could do this is by playing, by doing lots of things, exploring lots of fields, lots of areas, and just like see what you are inclined to, what you like, and doing more of that. That's it, I would say.